Hi, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share 5 quick tips for working with images in Squarespace. But before we get started, if we haven't met yet, my name is Meg. I'm the founder of Floating Lotus Design, and I'm a Squarespace web designer and SEO specialist. So let's get to it. Tip number 1. Use the highest quality images you have available in the file types JPEG, PNG, or better yet, WebP, which thankfully Squarespace now supports, and those will give you the smallest and fastest file sizes available. Now, in terms of file sizes, Squarespace recommends that we keep our general image sizes below 250 kilobytes whenever possible, and under 500 kilobytes for those larger images that span the width of your website or are used as background for sections. Often you'll hear those referred to as banner images. So whenever possible, trying to keep them within 250 to 500 kilobytes or less is what's recommended. Again, you have to make judgment calls sometimes because you don't want to sacrifice quality for size. But if you can convert things to higher quality images like WebP, you often won't run into that problem anymore. So speaking of how to compress or convert images, you have a couple of options. Now, if you're a Mac user, you can right-click on your file in your Finder app and select Quick Actions from the menu that pops up. That will allow you to convert an image from JPEG to PNG or vice versa. However, you can't do any WebP conversions there. Now, if you only have a couple of images that you need to resize, another free app that I like to use, it's web-based, is called Squoosh. You can drag and drop an image in there, and you can resize it and convert it easily. And it also has a slider function, so you can see the before and after before you download, so you can see the quality of your image first. But my favorite tool to use for resizing and converting images is Pix Resize from Rach at Square Stylus. This tool has everything you need to be able to resize, convert, and also do this all in bulk. So if you have a lot of images you need to convert or resize, makes it so easy to do that very quickly, and it's easy to use. She even has a quick tutorial video on there as well. And those are all free options as of right now, so I will provide links to those down in the description, but it makes it really easy to do that. And don't forget that if you are already using SEO Space on your website, you can scan your pages there, and if they flag any images as being too big, you can now download and compress those images directly from SEO Space. So a great feature if you're a user of that tool. Now, if you are really interested in nerding out and learning all the things about pixel sizes and how images are treated within the platform and really get into a deep dive of that, I'm going to link to a video down below by my friend Caitlin Deacle, who did an excellent video getting into all of that. So if you really want to nerd out and learn all about that, highly recommend you take a look at that video. Okay, moving on to tip number 2. And this is about alt text. Now, if you've been following me for a while, we've talked about alt text and how it's important for SEO and for accessibility purposes. But I have a pro tip for you about making sure that your alt text gets saved when you enter it. So this doesn't apply if you're using the built-in SEO tools for adding alt text to some of your images that Squarespace has. This is if you are going and directly editing your images and adding the alt text yourself within the image block itself. When you open up the editor for the block and you add your alt text, it's really important that you take your cursor, your mouse cursor, and you move it outside of the image block editor, outside of the image, and click somewhere outside of that block, somewhere else on the page. That will close out that block and it will save your alt text. It's a little bit of a weird trick, but occasionally if you don't do that, or if you just hit enter or save, sometimes it won't save. You can always kind of quickly go back and check, but that's just a pro tip so that you don't end up going and making a lot of changes and then maybe running a scan in SEO Space and finding you were missing alt text where you thought you put it in. So that can save you a little bit of heartache. Now, speaking of text, tip number 3, keep your text and your images separate. Now, what do I mean by that? That means do not upload images that have text already in them. You can use text blocks and layer them with your image blocks to achieve the look that you want. It's also very important for how your images and your text will show up on different screen sizes. I've already done a full video on this topic, so I will share that up above here, and you can go check that out about how to manage that and all the reasons why you need to avoid that. And now tip number 4, your image file name. When you're uploading your images into Squarespace, it's really important to make sure that the file name associated with your image makes sense. I've seen far too many times asset libraries and images filled with file names that are random numbers or gobbledygook that just doesn't make any sense, doesn't even say what the image is, maybe where it belongs, what it's for. That can make it really difficult over time to manage your images or know where things are. So do yourself a favor when you upload your images, make sure that you give them a file name that makes sense so that you can get back to it later without losing your mind. And that brings me to tip number 5, organize your asset library. Along with good file names, having an asset library that is organized is going to make your life so much easier down the road. Over time, we upload a lot of images to our website, and whether or not you're using them all at a time, they're still sitting in your asset library if you haven't gone in and cleaned it up. A great practice to do is use the folder structure that's available in the asset library to create folders to organize your images. Now, how you do that depends on what makes sense to you. Some folks like to organize them by page, some like to organize them by type or what service they might be linked to or products or things like that. Really doesn't matter as long as it makes sense to you that organization is set up so that you can easily go in and find your images and upload images there, or when you go in to clean up, you know where you need to go and clean up. And speaking as a designer, you're also doing us a favor if you ever hire a designer to help you out. And we have to go into your asset library. It's so nice to be able to see one that's well organized, and we can make sure that we maintain the integrity of that, and also helps us find the things that we need as well. And finally, I have a bonus tip for you, and that's just have fun. Images can be a really powerful part of the design of your website, and you should have some fun with it where you can. Time to play with shapes, layering your images with shape blocks and other special effects can really add a little something special to your design, and you get to enjoy the process as well. If you're interested in seeing a video on how to do that in a little bit more detail, leave me a comment. I'd love to create one of those for you if you're interested. So there you go, 5 tips plus 1 bonus tip on how to make the most of using images on your Squarespace website. Thanks so much for watching.